basic idea behind this summit?
बोला कि सब लोग अभी बैठ के चिंतन करेगा how this ancient Indian wisdom taught by the fully enlightened Buddha.
Talk about the Buddhist teachings, people generally think, oh, it's just about renunciation and spiritualism. But what about the basic material life?
Our government is taking a very proactive approach. We are grateful about that.
Namaste and very warm welcome to this special conversation. There's one important event happening in Delhi, Hotel Ashoka, called, as you can see, International Buddhist Confederation is organizing one summit, and that summit is mainly focused on the Buddhist teachings and its solutions for the contemporary global challenges. So on this particular Global Buddhist Summit of 2023 and its objectives and who are the participants to understand about all these things, we have Secretary General of International Buddhist Confederation, Bhante Dr. Dhammapiyaji, and we also have Shaste Khensur Rinpoche, who is the Deputy Secretary General of the organization. Bhante ji, what is the basic idea behind this summit? अभी ये समिट क्या उद्देश्य से ऑर्गेनाइज की गई है और किन थीम्स पर ये समिट होने जा रही है?
IBC इंटरनेशनल बुद्धिस्ट कॉन्फेडरेशन, इसका हेडक्वार्टर दिल्ली बेस्ड है, बट वी आर हैविंग आवर मेंबर्स institutional, organizational, monastic, nunnery members spread across the globe. Over 350 institutional, organizational members are there.
In the confederation?
In the confederation. 29 countries हमारा member countries है. मोटो जो है इम्पोर्टेंट है, एक कलेक्टिव विजडम एंड यूनाइटेड वॉइस या यूनाइटेड एफर्ट, यूनाइटेड एक्शन जो भी है. तो हम लोग दुनिया में जितना भी बुद्धिस्ट कम्युनिटीज हैं, बुद्धिस्ट फॉलोअर्स हैं, ये संघ मेंबर्स हैं, मेनली दी monks and nuns, lay men, lay women, चर्चा में है. सब लोग मिल के हम लोग कलेक्टिव विजडम जो है डिस्कस करके हाउ कैन वी एड्रेस टू डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ challenges, issues or problems, whatever that the world is facing today. This is the main motto of IBC. अभी जो हो रहा है दिल्ली में, upcoming Global Buddhist Summit that will be held on 20 and 21st April 2023 in Ashoka Hotel, New Delhi. मेन जो बुद्ध का टीचिंग है वो है दुनिया में दो एक्सट्रीम्स होता है. टू एक्सट्रीम्स, अगर एक एक्सट्रीम हो गया आपका वायलेंस, वार, हेट्रेड जो हो रहा है ना, एक्सट्रीम है. तो दूसरा एक्सट्रीम हो रहा है आपका लेजीनेस, नो वर्क, स्लीपिंग, ऐसे जो चीज़ कुछ नहीं काम करना, इससे जो है. तो बुद्ध ने क्लियरली बोले हैं कि टू हैव ए हेल्दी सोसाइटी, ए हार्मोनियस सोसाइटी, ए पीसफुल सोसाइटी, पीसफुल वर्ल्ड, अपना जिंदगी में, समाज में, देश में, दुनिया में अगर इसे हार्मोनी, शांति चाहते हैं या वेलबींग चाहते हैं, तो ये एक्सट्रीम्स जो है उसको अवॉइड करके एक बैलेंस लाइफ फॉलो करना जरूरी है.
मध्यम मार्ग, मिडिल पाथ.
हाँ, तो मिडिल पाथ बोलने से लोगों को अलग अलग सोच आता है, देखिए, है ना. मिडिल पाथ मतलब क्या चीज़ है, पीपल हैव डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग. इसीलिए इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट इज बैलेंस. आप एक्सट्रीम को छोड़ने से आपकी क्या आता है जिंदगी में, बैलेंस आता है. आप उसको मिडिल पाथ बोलिए, मध्यम मार्ग बोलिए, सम्यक मार्ग बोलिए, जो भी बोलिए, लेकिन जिंदगी हमारा सोच में, बात में, कर्म में, वहाँ पर बैलेंस होना जरूरी पड़ेगा. तो वही है अभी ये बुद्ध का टीचिंग, जो मध्यम मार्ग या बैलेंस वे ऑफ लिविंग और थिंकिंग एंड टॉकिंग, इसको फॉलो करके दुनिया में अभी जितना भी बुद्धिस्ट स्कॉलर्स हैं, बुद्धिस्ट संघ मेंबर्स हैं, बुद्धिस्ट पीपल हैं, उन लोगों को हम बुला रहे हैं यहाँ पे फॉर ऑल दी बुद्धिस्ट कंट्रीज इन साउथ ईस्ट एशिया, इवन यूरोप, अफ्रीका, अमेरिका, हर जगह से हम बुला रहे हैं यहाँ पे. बोला कि सब लोग अभी बैठ के चिंतन करेगा हाउ दिस एंशिएंट इंडियन विजडम taught by the fully enlightened Buddha can help this world, this globe, to overcome the crisis challenges we are facing today. ये मेन थी.
वीको वज्रदंती. शायद इसमें आपको टेस्ट का मजा नहीं मिलेगा, झाग का मजा नहीं मिलेगा. अब आप सोचेंगे तो मिलेगा क्या? असर कम प्रॉब्लम्स पर. इसकी 18 जड़ी बूटियां स्वोलन गम्स, ब्लीडिंग गम्स जैसे प्रॉब्लम्स को रखे दूर और दांतों को रखे हेल्दी. मजा नहीं, असर. अब पेस्ट है, पिक्चर का टिकट थोड़ी. वीको वज्रदंती, इंडिया का गम एक्सपर्ट. मजेदार नहीं, असरदार.
We are facing a huge global turmoil. Many people are talking about the global disorder, especially after the Ukraine war, the so-called post-World War, United Nations system that is also looks crumbling. The alternatives that are coming, either in the form of the Chinese model or Russian model, that looks very unstable and aggressive. So in such a scenario, how far Buddhists, because Buddha's teachings were not meant for just Indians. In fact, there are more followers of Buddha outside India, though the origin was here. People call this land as land of Buddha, but Buddha's followers are all over the world. So in such a crisis situation, when peace and stability is strived from all angles and everybody is concerned about this, how do you see this summit playing a role in finding answers?
वो तो क्लियर है. Wherever there is darkness, what you need is light, right? So darkness is the symbolic representation of all the crises and what we are seeing, instability. So there we have to have light, and we have one light. The source of light is the sun, and the other light, the source of light, is the fully enlightened, the Buddha. You see, so like that, what we have to present to the world is the light of the enlightenment. That we have to enlighten the mind of the people. We have to enlighten the heart of the people. That's what I say, the light. The light of wisdom and knowledge about the universality of our existence. That we have to make an understanding. And the second is the light of compassion. Mm-hmm. When we propagate this light of enlightenment, the light of wisdom, light of compassion, and if each one of us, it is not that the light of the sun is for only India and the Buddha, is not like that. The light of knowledge and wisdom and compassion that Buddha has shown us is also not for India or Buddhists. It's for whole world, because we are interdependent, right? As now G20 India has given the idea of one world, yes, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, that one world, one family, one future, yes, like that. So there, what I would like to say is, when all the top Buddhist leaders from around the world sit together on this Global Buddhist Summit and deliberate on different issues, Like we have what you're saying, the war, violence, terrorism, and the climate issues, environmental issues, and many other issues that world is facing. I think we can definitely come up with some kind of solution, or at least path to show to dispel the darkness of this instability and war. I'm sure that this will have very, very impact making kind of deliberation and result.
Thank you. Vibhuche, another important issue that we are facing today is about health and wellness. In fact, as a media person, when I see in the post, I don't know whether we should call it post-pandemic, but the continuous pandemic one, we can say. People are more concerned about the issues related to health and wellness. But unfortunately, the focus is only on the physical wellness. The focus is only on the medicine and the treatment part of it. While the Indic wisdom represented by Buddha's Dhamma or teachings had a holistic idea of wellness. So how this Buddhist summit at global level is going to propagate these ideas about health and wellness? Is it going to be the key concern for this summit?
Yes, I do believe that this is one of those main topics that we are trying to address. You see, we are organizing this important summit as a kind of a main stakeholder. When something happens to the world, we cannot remain out of it. We are also a stakeholder. We are not like unconnected. So it is really directly affecting us. And for that reason, we have to do something. We cannot treat things like, oh, this is happening to someone else, but it is not going to touch me. So for that reason, I think our government is taking a very proactive approach, and we are grateful about that. And with the inspired by the government's approach, we are organizing this event. So, of course, health is one of the most important issues that we are concerned at present. But of course, mental health and physical health is two very intricately kind of connected things. So we cannot uniquely or singly address a kind of physical health issue without having our mental health involved or kind of addressed. So for that reason, I think this summit will play a kind of a very significant role by propagating the Buddha's messages. Buddha's messages are mostly concerned about mental health, and Buddha has very kind of clearly and very kind of precisely taught about the mental functioning of human being and how to kind of deal with it, and what are the negative things, what are the positive things, what are the neutral things, and how to enhance the positive things to overcome the kind of negative things. So these are taught by the kind of Buddhas 2,500 years ago, and it is even today it is as relevant as it was relevant those days, because the mental structure of human being didn't change. We are exactly same as the time when the Buddha was living, and even today. So from that angle, I think as the Venerable has told that, we are inviting leaders from all over the kind of world, particularly connected to the Buddhist faith or kind of Buddhist kind of lifestyle or Buddhist teachings. And that includes Sangha leaders and also non-Sangha leaders. Beside that, we have also invited lot of academics in all the different fields. And all these academics come from all the different kind of a background, like some of them are historians, some of them are kind of connected to the health industry, some of them are connected to the meditation and kind of contemplation and those kind of things. And these fields are playing great role now. And nowadays we have a kind of some new field of study that is known as contemplative neuroscience.
Yes.
It is a kind of, to some extent, I do believe very strongly that it is one of the brainchild of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He has came up with this idea, and then it kind of moved forward very effectively. And this is making a huge kind of, development in the modern kind of understanding of the health and well-being. So I do believe this summit will greatly contribute in that direction, and hopefully the modern kind of science community will take more and more interest in these kind of teachings, those directly address the mental health and mental well-being, which will directly impact our lifestyle. So I do believe very strongly, and I'm sure that it will help.
Rinpoche, there is another issue that is linked to all the concerns that you have raised, and that is related to the model of development. People have been talking about in binaries, whether capitalist or socialist, or everybody raises concerns about climate change and environmental degradation. But when it comes to the actual conduct, there is very little to offer than mere words. India is fortunately showing a path now, cutting down on its emission to a large extent, meeting the desired goals, which were supposed to be 2030 goals. Now India is revising them. So, but the key issue is how to balance between this scientific innovation, economic development, and still ensure that we lead a sustainable life. I know most of the times, when we talk about the Buddhist teachings, people generally think, oh, it's just about renunciation and spiritualism. But what about the basic material life? Can we have a sustainable path ahead, and can we expect some light from this conference?
I do believe very strongly that we can expect a lot of things from there, because a balanced lifestyle, as Venerable has spoken about, is very important concept in Buddhism, and that balance doesn't only apply to some areas, it applies to all the areas. It also applies to consumption, it also applies to production, it also applies to kind of all the kind of other ways of things that we use, all the different varieties of materials. So that is also one of the reasons that in Buddha's Vinaya teachings, he has kind of greatly emphasized on moderation of kind of consumption. Buddhist monastics are kind of permitted to keep limited numbers of clothing, and Buddhist monastics are kind of permitted only to kind of limited numbers of times in a day. So this really kind of teaches us the importance of the limiting the consumption. So unfortunately, in a kind of modern consumerist driven kind of economy, it is always kind of propagated like this. The more you consume, you are happier. But unfortunately, that is not the truth. If that is the truth, then I have a very kind of strong statement against it. How could it be possible to those great kind of saints, those lived in the caves, with minimal kind of resources and supplies, they can enjoy such a kind of high level of happiness in their life? It should be impossible to have that, but that is happening. that has happened in past, that is even happening today. So we really need to address that. Unfortunately, a capitalist-based economy is based on the consumerism. And it requires people to consume more. When the people consume more text is generated and more movement of money is there. So it is good for the government, it is good for the businessman, it is good for the many things, but it is bad for the environment. It is bad for kind of global warming. But unfortunately, greed of the human being is overriding the need of the environment, care of the environment, and kind of being careful about the global warming and the climate change. So unfortunately, that is the truth. But that is a bitter truth. But we need to kind of work to how to kind of face this challenge. I do believe very strongly that the message that we give will kind of relay down. In the course of time, it will get kind of approach. It will kind of touch many more people, and then in that way we can make people think more and then kind of act differently. Then definitely it will bring a change. So hope is always there, and we have to just kind of work in that direction. That is something that I think will happen.
Thank you. I'll come back to Banteji, and I would like to have comments from both of you on this particular question, maybe a last question. That mere deliberation for 2 days is not going to solve all these concerns. You are going to address global challenges with a Buddhist perspective. Now, after this 2 days deliberation on 20th and 21st April, how far do you see this? You said that around 350 members of Dhamma, Sangha, and various even non-Sangha background academic, they will be coming, deliberating. But what is the way forward? How these messages, how these outcome of these deliberations can be taken forward to the society so that certain systemic changes are made and to find solutions for global peace, stability, and wellness. So,
you want me to
yes.
answer this?
So,
way forward, first thing that we have identified areas to discuss the environmental issues and the health issues and the violence, war, all these issues. So these are not common only to the Buddhist world or the Buddhist people. So what Buddhists can contribute, definitely, it has to go down to the grassroots level, all the followers. As you know, one monastery, under it has hundreds of families or thousands of followers. So if all of us take a decision that we must act in this way for a healthy life, a peaceful life, harmonious life, and to promote these ideas, and that will get circulated. In that way, I understand this will promote in a larger way, but we have to definitely commit to what we say and practice it. Yeah.
Can we expect some resolutions coming collectively for some kind of action program out of this? At least, the members who can propagate it and practice it at their Sangha level or monasteries level.
Frankly talking to you, these kind of summits normally doesn't have a kind of a mechanism to put up the things under kind of application. So application falls into some other kind of groups of area. It doesn't fall into the organizers' area to do that. But we can inspire people to think in that direction, and thinking is the first step towards the change. And in that area, I think we can play a kind of a significant role. But then once we get to there, then how it rolls down, that's another area. But I think it could be really, how to say, helpful if we can also play some role in that step and that area. Then it will be further kind of useful to have these kind of conferences in again and again.
Thank you. Friends, we have heard directly from the organizers of this very important global summit that is happening in Delhi, and we are seeing that the Buddhist teachings, which originated in this great ancient land with the ideas related to Dhamma, the balanced life, not just a middle path, but going beyond the binaries and thinking holistically about living and non-living. So we hope that this Global Buddhist Summit come up with certain concrete ideas and solutions for the future world. And as India is leading this G20 organization with presidency, hope that we recontextualize the teachings of Buddha and his Dhamma for one world, one family, and one future. Thank you for watching this special show on Global Buddhist Summit 2023. Namaskar.